This is the remix.
Pushing harder, pushing harder, pushing harder, pushing
Bricks in the kitchen, bricks in the living room, money to the ceiling. I'm doing what I gotta do. Whole hood watching, half folks snitching. First I took the oath, then I took it to the kitchen. I was getting it and selling it by the whole brick. Shit like
¿Puedo hablar con el Daniel Ponce?
Sí, yo soy Daniel Ponce.
Obviously, this is a big fight for him. He's been in this position before, but when he was in a very anticipated bout, he was knocked out in the first round. But since then, he's progressed. Does he feel like he's in a different place now than when he fought Walma Lopez?
Ay, me siento muy bien. Esa pelea que perdí en el primer round fue la fuerte, fue una pelea de mala suerte, porque pues todos han visto que ni progreso, han visto que yo he seguido ganando y he peleado con los mejores del mundo, también aparte de sabes que perdí. Eso solo fue una mala noche y ahora mi próxima pelea es contra Gamboa el 10 de septiembre.
Obviously, I feel that that first round knockdown was not my day. It was a bad day for me, but I feel really good about the position and obviously about the fight with Gamboa in September.
He's been progressing. He changed his camp, his trainer. Where does he feel now where he's at? I mean, what is his assessment of himself in point of having an off night to where he's at this moment?
También entrenamiento, entrenadores, porque pues con los entrenadores que tenía muchos años, Joe Hernández, que me ayudó por muchos años. Ahora Doug Harley, mi entrenador, tiene otra técnica diferente, como que tiene aparte pues experiencia también, el estilo de él, y me ha ayudado mucho. Ahora tratamos de concentrarnos más en cada pelea, estar bien concentrados y tratar de no pasar esas malas noches, sino ir al 100%.
He needed to make a change in his training camp, and he was with his former trainer for quite a bit, but now he's got a different trainer, and they're just pretty much concentrating on just that, not having any bad nights anymore, and he feels really comfortable where he's at now.
Has the onus been, this new style of training or a new style of fighting? Has it been just about kind of slowing down, taking your time a little more, and boxing enough to just set up your power? Before you seemed kind of aggressive but reckless in the way you were aggressive. You don't seem that way anymore.
Sí, pues ustedes han visto el cambio que he tenido. Antes yo ganaba las peleas así como era mi estilo antes. Yo iba a nukear y siempre ganaba, pero después de esa pelea me dejó experiencia y cambié mi estilo y ahora soy más técnico y pues lo han visto en mis peleas.
Obviously, you guys have seen the difference. Yes, it's true. I was a little bit aggressive in the past, but now with my new training, we have been focusing on a little bit more technical.
Is there anybody, would you say that maybe Adrian Broner is the closest thing that you fought to a Yuri Gamboa? Or do you see them as similar at all? Or, in any case, just break down what you see in Gamboa, what you think his greatest strengths are.
Pues tienen estilo algo similar porque los dos son muy rápidos y pegan fuerte. A Broner, pues, no me conectó ningún golpe fuerte. Algunos fue golpes que me conectó, no lo sentí tan fuerte porque yo tengo fortaleza. Pero tiene estilo similar y pues ese estilo es más o menos ya lo sé manejar arriba del ring.
Yes, they do have a very similar style, but I do think that maybe Gamboa would be a little bit stronger because Brenner, when I felt his hit, it wasn't really as hard as I imagined Gamboa, but yes, they do have a very similar style.
Do you think that this is a test for you facing Gamboa, or is this more of a test for Gamboa? Because some fight fans are always gonna go back to that KO loss in the first round you had.
Pienso que para los dos. A mí esa pelea no me afectó, sino que no he estado tan activo, la gente no me ha visto tanto, pero si se dan cuenta, yo estuve un año número 1 de la AMB, que nunca me dio la oportunidad al título, y estuve 6 meses de la AMB número 1 del mundo, y Juanma nunca me dio la revancha. Yo estoy ganando todas mis peleas, después de la de Juanma he ganado 10 peleas, al hilo, sin perder, con Gloria me la robaron, y pienso que es una pelea de prueba para los dos, para probar si Gamboa ha sido está ahí o para probar si voy a seguir ahí yo.
I think that it's probably a test for both of us. Obviously, the fight that I had with Juanma, yes, I lost it, but after 6 months after the fight, the federation never gave me a rematch. I wanted a rematch so that I can, prove to them that it was just an off night. And obviously, I never got the opportunity, but I feel that it's a test for both of us at this point.
Well, let me ask you this: is it wrong for fight fans, or even Gamboa, or Top Rank, or anybody else, to think that you're the same guy 3 to 4 years ago? Is that a big mistake for them to think that?
Pues yo pienso que sí, es Black Knight, porque después de eso me mantuve y seguí siendo número 1 pues desde esa vez, la primera pelea fui número 1 y ahorita soy número 3 del mundo en la OMB y he dado con los mejores de esa vez y no me han dado la oportunidad. Para mí es mi beneficio que piensen, es como beneficio que hay los en mi cabeza.
It's a benefit for me. It benefits me the fact that people may think that I'm done, or that I had a bad night that night, or that I didn't have a bad night that night. So once I step in the ring, I'm going to prove to everybody that I'm here to stay, and I've always fought, top contenders. So at this point, I'm just ready.
Ponce, you came up with two guys out of the Maywood gym that used to hang around with quite a bit, Mike Conchando and Edwin Valero. Now, Mike is semi-retired, kind of out of the title picture. Edwin is no longer with us. I'm curious if you're surprised that you're kind of the last man standing out of that trio and that you're still fighting for a title.
Pues la verdad que no me lo imaginaba. Yo siempre entreno fuerte. Yo cuando estuve en el equipo olímpico, que fue en las Olimpiadas, tampoco no daban un centavo por mí. Y soy el que fue mejor, a pesar de que mis compañeros tenían mucho talento. Igual Valero y Mike tenían mucho talento y no daban nada por mí. Sin embargo, aquí estoy siendo luchador por el campeonato mundial y he sido campeón mundial. Nunca pensé estar aquí, pero se lo agradezco mucho a Dios.
No, he didn't think that he would be here at this point. Obviously, he went to the Olympics. They were very talented fighters, but obviously he's happy where he's at. He's happy to be fighting, and he didn't imagine himself being in this position.
Now, it being at his weight that he was at once as a featherweight, is he excited about that? I mean, he had to move up to fight Broner. Is he excited that he goes back to his more comfortable weight?
Pues es el peso que peleo, que estoy bien, porque en este peso no hay ventajas. Aquí vamos a estar en mismas condiciones, mismas ventajas en el peso.
Featherweight's my weight. I feel very comfortable at this weight, and obviously the fight that I had with Broner was not my weight, so I'm happy to be back.
Seeing what Broner did a Litso and wasn't able to do with you, does that kind of build up your confidence a little?
La verdad, mira, yo no guardo rencor con nada. Es el deporte. Pero si Juanma ya no es campeón, yo peleo con Salido. Y si Juanma le gana a Salido en la revancha, yo peleo con Juanma. Que sea campeón cualquiera de los dos. Y si ellos quieren darme la revancha, ahora sí me quieren dar la revancha a Juanma, peleo con él.
It is what it is, but I don't hold any grudges, but I just want to fight, whoever the world champion is, or whatever contender needs to be in front of me. I will fight Alfino.
When the hearing of Valero, the tragedy between his wife and himself, and him being able to be close to him and knowing Edwin, was it a surprise or was it not a surprise to him?
Sí, sí, me sorprendió, pues nunca esperé que fuera algo así, que me fuera a matar a su esposa y suicidarse de esa manera, no, yo quedé sorprendido, pero pues supe que andaba metido en drogas y pues muy metido en la fama, el dinero, y pienso que cuando uno está consciente de eso, uno puede perder y acabar de esa manera.
Actually, I was surprised, but obviously, when you got fame and money and involved in drugs, then that's type of things that happen. But I was surprised.
Now, you were reported to have like some real fights with Edwin. I mean, there was friendship between you guys, but there was some real fights between the two of you guys. You guys were letting your hands go. So leading on to the Wama Lopez fight, I mean, I don't know about you, but my opinion would be is that Edwin's a harder puncher than Lopez, and you said you had an off night. What was the off night? I mean, what happened that night? Why did you get knocked out?
Porque yo me excedí mucho de confianza y no me concentré antes de la pelea. Se me cayó una pelea desde enero. En marzo se me cayó la pelea y seguí entrenando al mismo ritmo hasta junio. O sea que estuve 6 meses entrenando fuertísimo y yo lo que quería era pelear y yo tenía mucha confianza de que iba a ganar. Y solamente fue un descuido. Yo la pelea ando flotando mucho, no estaba muy concentrado en la pelea.
I think I had too much confidence in myself. I went in too aggressive, and I was just kind of pumped because I had my fight fall through in March, and I didn't fight about 3 or 4 months later, and I just I just went in too aggressive and didn't put too much attention. I was overwhelmed at the fact that I was going to fight because it had already fell through one time.
This fight with Gamboa, is this something that have you had a chance to study him before the fight was even made? I mean, what is your assessment about Gamboa? I mean, this is an explosive guy, but also has a suspect chin. What do you think is the best tactic to go with against him?
Ya hemos visto que no aguanta porque lo han tumbado, pero también sabemos que pega muy fuerte y pega durísimo también y tiene muy buena condición. Su estilo es muy dificultoso, entonces me voy a preparar para eso, para tener muy buena condición, estar muy fuerte también, muy rápido y tratar de sorprenderlo antes de que él agarre su confianza, sino ponerme difícil desde el primer round.
Yes, he does have he may have a weak chin, but he's a very, very powerful hitter, or fighter rather. And I'm just gonna prepare myself. Obviously, I'm gonna try and get to him, earlier in the rounds before he gets and builds his confidence, and just be prepared.
Hey man, I really appreciate Ponce taking the time to speak to us here on Leave It in the Ring. I'm really excited about this fight between himself and Gamboa. I wish him the best of luck.